if he's changed, because that's the promise always is, I'm different now, I've changed, just come back and I can prove it to you. But what are some of the behavioral changes that they need to look for to see if it's really happened?
So if there's somebody out there watching us tonight, and it's, let's say it's the male or the female, that feels that they might be the batterer, whether it's, you know, a subtle psychological battering and control, and they wanted to change their ways to improve their relationship,
Yes.
they can just contact
Absolutely.
the same phone number that we've been, the helpline.
We have,
right?
not only are people court-ordered, but people come voluntarily
Yeah.
to our programs.
Okay, let's go now to the more extreme, where somebody calls the helpline and it's determined that they're in danger. Okay, let's follow that person through your shelter and the programs that you have for them. Okay, so the helpline representative determines that there's some danger. What do they say? Where do you go?
Yeah.
How soon does that happen?
It happens very quickly because they determine whether or not you're safe in that home, and then they'll work with them on a safety plan. It might be the situation where he's there in the home with them and they're not safe to leave right then and there because that might exacerbate the violence. So what they would do is talk to them about when's a safe time that you could gather up a few important belongings that you have, Social Security cards, the kids' insurance information, information like that, school records, whatever you need, birth certificates. Gather up a few items, gather up a few basic clothing, and to make your kids feel comfortable, and then when would be a safe time you could leave and come to our facility. Sometimes they wait till the next morning when he goes to work and then leave during the day. From there, we help them with safety transportation to the facility because we keep that confidential. And then once they arrive, a counselor will meet with them, help them get settled, we have specialized children's counselors there who will help the children adjust to that change. Sometimes that's often, you know, upsetting for a child. They've just been taken away from their home. Maybe they saw the police come in, arrest their father. So we have specialized counseling there for the children to work with them too.
So on this escape plan, do you counsel them, the victims, to leave a note in the house saying, "I've gone to the shelter. If you're looking for me," what do you tell? Do you,
Right.
No,
No,
seriously,
you're right. No, we do.
So they don't just call the police and say, "You know, my family is gone. I don't know where they are. Are they safe?"
Right.
Right.
What we will do is when somebody comes to the facility, our safe house, we will ask them to call either their local police or the prosecutor's office or the Division of Youth and Family Services to make sure that somebody knows that they're someplace safe, but they're not trying to run away with the children.
Okay.
And so that will protect both the victim who's fled the home for safety, as well as give the batterer information about, you know, that they're safe. But we wouldn't tell them to leave a note or something like that.
Right. Now, so they go to the facility and they have all these resources there. Could you describe what they are?
Yeah. First, let me describe a little bit about what the safe home looks like, because some people have this stereotypical image that, you know, it looks like cinder blocks and you know, there's just, you know, bunk beds lined up against the wall, and that's not really what the facility's like at all. It's a beautiful facility. We try to make it as home-like as possible. The woman would stay in a bedroom with her children, so the children are with her. Since they've just been separated from their father, we don't want to also separate them from their mother. So they would stay in a bedroom with their children, and we would help them to get settled once they get there. Then I'm sorry, and there's also a living room, there's a kitchen facility where they can cook some of their own meals. We can find out what meals they enjoy so that we can help them through some of the shopping for groceries. Then resources available for the women, we would begin to meet with them, find out what they're hoping to have happen at the end of this brief stay, which is about 60 days. So where would they like to see themselves at the end of 60 days? And depending on where that is, their plan may be, I'm not sure yet, I just want to learn more about this, maybe get a protection order so that I can be safe, go back to my house, have him removed from the home. Others are saying, I'll never feel safe in that home. I really want to start over with my
Right.
own place, and that's my goal. So we would have to help them with housing, financial stability, those kinds of things.
That's 60 days, up to 60 days. That's, they don't need any money for that.
No.
That's all covered by...
They're not charged for anything. We provide the meals, we provide a place for them to stay.
Now, you know, you guys are going to have to come back on another night because we're just we have on the tip of the iceberg here, and there's a lot to discuss. But let me, in the remaining few minutes we have, let me talk about with you some of the other programs that you have. You've got somebody in the shelter you've described, and they can either go back, they can get restraining orders, but we started the show by talking about prevention. Okay, I understand you have some very interesting programs on the prevention of domestic violence.
Yes,
Can
we do.
Can you describe those on the air tonight?
Yes,
Good.
of course. We have a number of different programs to prevent domestic violence. We started out in the high schools in Morris County, and we're in most of the high schools throughout the county in their health classes. But many of the teachers have said to us, you know, that's not soon enough. Can you do something in the middle schools? So over the past couple of years, we've started going out into middle schools and talking to those kids about what's a healthy relationship and what are some of the early signs that a relationship might be becoming abusive. And we're in about a dozen middle schools right now in Morris County. And then in addition to that, we started even going earlier through organizations like the Girl Scouts, talking with 5th grade girls, for example, about what's bullying behavior, what happens when there's bullying behavior in a relationship, what's that look like, what are healthy friendships, how do you communicate with one another, healthy forms of communication. So teaching them some of the skills that they need, but in the relationships that they're having in 5th grade, so that they build on that, so that when they do start to date, they start to recognize some of the warning signs as well. And even if they can't define it as abusive, they can at least say, you know what, it's not a healthy relationship, this is not good for either one of us, and move on to another relationship.
Now, we are out of time. And so I want to thank Jeannie Bram and Jane Shivas very much. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
And you're going to come back and we're going to talk more about the work that you do.
We'd love
It's
to do that.
wonderful. Thank you for watching Law Talk today. My name is Mark Gruber. Join us again next week between 7:30 and 8 p.m. And have a good night.